Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we're going to do an unboxing of the iPad 12.9 Pro. This is the new one from Apple. So guys, I've been out traveling and was not home when this new iPad came in, so I'm playing catch up. The iPad 12.9 is a fantastic looking tablet, as well as the 11. So what we're going to do is going to unbox it. We're going to see why it's so special and why you should consider it if you have the big bucks to spend. Let's go ahead and check it out.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell icon to get notified when new videos become available.
All right, so now that we've removed the packaging, we're going to go ahead and power the tablet up. Pressing the side button. Let's make sure we got that going. Actually, here it is. All right, so let's go ahead and power up the tablet. There we go. Now, one of the things that you'll notice with the new iPad is that the screen almost comes to the side. It's not quite an edge-to-edge screen, even though they advertise it that way. When you think about the Samsung phones, where you see how the full screen is covered with the phone screen, that is more of an edge-to-edge. They just really reduce the bezel in a great way. And so what you have is a tablet that is literally the size of a sheet of paper, which is really nice. So this is going to be standard iPad stuff, so I'm not going to bore you with this. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, and then we'll be able to take a look at the screen. All right, guys, so here's side by side to give you a sense. So this is an iPad Pro, and then this is the iPad Pro, but the 12.9. Now, as you'll notice, I actually did a backup restore. So these devices are supposed to be identical, and they definitely are here at the very bottom. But given the size of the new iPad, I have more icons on the screen, so you'll see some more things that are displayed there. Now, a couple things to highlight. No fingerprint sensor. You'll see that it's not there. You'll also notice that the bezels are pretty much larger. But now, Apple does claim that the new iPad is the size of a sheet of paper. So here I have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and I'm going to place it right on top of this new iPad Pro. And you notice that it is. So if you ask yourself, hey, could I use the larger one or the smaller one, and you're a student or you're a business person and you say, hey, you've walked around with a PowerPoint presentation in your hand. Well, that's what we're talking about here, something the size of a sheet of paper. If we were to compare that to the iPad Pro, this is the 10.5, which is what you see with the standard iPads, notice how much larger it is in comparison to a sheet of paper, right? So the sheet of paper is much larger than the iPad, but this is still very manageable, especially because of the thickness and the weight. Now, another thing that you'll find is that the iPad has absolutely amazing, fantastic refresh rate. I'm not going to bore everybody with the details there because I'm looking at this as more as a standard consumer, not a prosumer, a business person. It's just going to be super quick and snappy. Now, what you also find is that you have speakers on both sides. They sound really good. You also have 5 mics with this one, which means that if you use this, let's say for WebEx, or you use this on a conference, it's going to be absolutely great. And I've actually used to use like my Surface Pro. I used to use it when I was in a meeting as a speakerphone. Given that this has 5 speakers, not only is it going to be great for FaceTime, but if you use this in a WebEx scenario, it's going to be fantastic as well for picking up people in the room. The other thing that you'll notice, and this is the big news here, is that that's a USB-C port. No more proprietary dongles that are needed. And then on this side right here, you'll notice that you have your volume rocker here. On this side, you have another mic. Here you have some contact points. Over here, really much nothing new there. This actually area that you see here is the charging area for your Apple Pencil, which we do have, and I'll show you in a couple seconds. So this is what the back looks like. The only difference is if you do have one that has a solid year version, it's going to have a SIM tray. So camera has a little bump to it, and that's because of the size of the iPad, it seems. So you notice how thin this is, and then as you see the camera popping out, it pops out right there, and then that's your volume rocker. So let's go ahead and see the Apple Pencil next. So now here's the Apple Pencil. So this is a little bit over $1,000. Now you have another $129, $140. The old pencil, which you see right here, will not work with this new guy. It's been tested. It just doesn't happen. This one right here, this is really going to be good. I would say as an average user, let's see where this thing opens. Here it goes. As an average user, I don't think the pencil is really required unless you're someone who is doing some kind of graphic work. You are in meetings and are really using the the iPad as a tool that you use for writing and documenting things. I use OneNote a lot, so this does come in handy, and that's why I picked it up. And then also for graphic editing, if you're working with the stylus, I think this works really well as well. So let's take a look at these two. Here's the original, and then here's the new, right? A couple things that you'll notice is that this one is round, right? It has a removable cap that a lot of people lose. This is what you use to charge, which is a pain in the butt because you either have to charge it in with a cable or you put it to the bottom of your iPad. And even though it charges fast, you just always are fearful that you're going to snap it because it literally has to connect here to the bottom. Now this is the new one. The new one has some interesting shapes to it. It has this flat surface right here, which is the charging surface, and it's lighter and it doesn't feel slippery. You'll notice that this one kind of has a gloss to it. So you see that? And you see how this one kind of doesn't. It actually feels easier to hold. Some of it is the texture, and also there's a difference in weight. Ugh, it almost all flew out of my hand. So there's a difference in weight. The tips look almost similar. It has additional functionality. It has like tapping functionality, as well as everything has been improved in this one. The neat thing about this one is that we're going to come here to our iPad. Let's go ahead and wake it up. So now you can tap to wake up. And then once it sees you, it works just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put it here on the side. That's all it takes to connect it. And notice now it saw that the pencil is there, and it says go ahead, connect it. And I'm going to go through the process, hit continue, explore the double tap features. So you can switch to eraser to pen just like that. And pretty much that's it. So guys, that concludes my unboxing, a really cursory review. Didn't go into all the specs. You can find those things online. But talking about just overall the new iPad, I really think that it's a great device. I think that it is overpriced, but it really depends on, what you use the iPad for. There's obviously some cheaper alternatives on the market, but if you want the best of the best when it comes from a hardware perspective and a performance, this is it. And once again, I think that they've done a fantastic job with the look and feel. I love the magnetic charging option here. This is not new. Actually, Microsoft has been doing this for a very long time. What they don't do is they don't have the charge capability, but they've had this capability before. So we're going to review screen protectors, cases. I'm going to give you some cheap alternative cases. We're also going to be looking at the Apple keyboard. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the little bell icon, and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. So guys, that wraps up our initial unboxing, quick setup, and kind of overview of the iPad Pro 12.9. I definitely would recommend this if you have the cash because, it is expensive. I think it's a great upgrade. It probably has more processing power than the even feature functions that you can do in the iPad. But again, if you're an iPad user and you're a business user, this is definitely the one to go, especially that you have this size of a sheet of paper, so I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to have cases, screen protectors, keyboards that we're going to be reviewing. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell icon. That way you get notified. So just stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.